This is Pioneer's TS-WH500A compact, self-amplified subwoofer. The TS-WH500A is a very small self-amplified subwoofer that is designed to fit in tight places, like under the front seat of many vehicles, and still deliver deep bass. The system features a 160 watt max Class D amplifier and an aluminum speaker cone in a custom designed enclosure, and a digital bass control that lets you tailor the sound for your vehicle. Let's take a look and see what's in the box. Alright, this thing's heavy. Let's open the panel here. Alright, the first thing we see here is the wired remote control, and the wired remote control here is used to operate the subwoofer and switch it on and off, change the parameters of the sound you'll hear. So that's the wired remote included in the box. And then we have some installation hardware. There's a small pack of installation hardware here. Okay, let's get some packing out of the way here. There's some packing. I'm just going to toss that aside. And the next thing we have here is the owner's manual and warranty card in its own package there. Okay, let's pull the subwoofer up out of here. There we go, and we'll take a look at that in just a moment. And finally, we have the wire harness for the system. We'll use the wire harness here to connect power and ground to the system, certainly, but we'll also use it to connect signal to the system from your in-dash receiver. The TS-WH500A features an 8 by 5 1/4 inch aluminum woofer cone driven by a built-in 160 watt max output Class D amplifier. The subwoofer cone is covered by a strong metal mesh grille for durability. The bottom of the TS-WH500A is made of heavy and durable metal. The corner mounting brackets included with the product will attach here. Up in this corner is the control and connection panel. Here is a close-up of the connection and control panel on the bottom of the subwoofer. Here is where you'll plug in the wired remote controller. The power and ground and system remote lead will plug in right here. The signal input from the in-dash receiver will plug in right here. You can use speaker level or RCA input. Now, if you're using RCA level input, just plug in your RCAs directly from the in-dash receiver right here. If you're using speaker level input, cut these RCA connections off and use these same wires for your speaker level input. Set this switch for speaker level or RCA input according to your specific installation. When using a speaker level input, set the input gain switch for the normal position. When using RCA input that is less than 4 volts, again, set the input gain switch to the normal position. When using RCA input that is equal to or greater than 4 volts, set this switch to the high position. The system is very compact, measuring only 7 7/8 by 11 by 2 3/4 inches high. The wired remote control included with the TS-WH500A has a connection wire that's about 15 feet long or so for very flexible installation. The control on top is the gain. Use this control to match your in-dash receiver's output to the input on the subwoofer. Next is the crossover frequency selector. Whether using RCA or speaker level input, you can choose what frequencies are played back by the sub. The TS-WH500A has a built-in LPF, or a low-pass filter. A low-pass filter means that all frequencies below the number you select will be played by the sub. Next is the phase control. You can set this to normal or reverse. Try both of these settings in your vehicle. Depending upon a number of different parameters, including speaker placement, one of these settings may sound significantly better than the other. So choose the setting that works best for your favorite music in your vehicle. And finally is the digital bass control. Try the deep setting and the dynamic setting with different types of music. The deep setting has lower and deeper bass, often found with a ported enclosure. The dynamic setting has tighter, punchier bass, often found with a sealed enclosure. And that is Pioneer's TS-WH500A Class D self-amplified subwoofer. And what's in the box? This is Pioneer's TS-WH500A compact self-amplified subwoofer system. The system features two separate woofer diaphragms operating in conjunction with one another. The TS-WH500A's unique and rugged sealed system design allows it to be installed under the seat of many vehicles, delivering big bass from a very small space. Let's take a look and see what's in the box. Oh, it's heavier than you think. Let's see here. All right, we've got a bit of packing here. I'm going to toss that aside. And we've got a few parts here. Here is the wire harness for the system. This will provide power and ground and system control from your in-dash receiver. It will also bring in signal into the system. We're going to lift the subwoofer out of here. All right, and we'll take a look at that in a moment. Some additional signal wires, input signal wires. All right, there is the owner's manual for the system. We have some mounting hardware, some screws and brackets for mounting hardware. There's a couple more. And we have the wired remote control to switch the system on and off and to change the parameters of the output. And finally, here's the warranty card. On the bottom of the TS-WH500A, you have mounting connections at the corners, and the hardware is included to mount down this product. Up here at the top left, you see both the power and ground connection and the remote controller connection. The base of the TS-W500A is made of very durable and heavy metal. Both the top and the bottom of the TS-WH500A have a speaker diaphragm. They work in conjunction with one another to produce bass frequencies inside your vehicle. As you can see, the TS-WH500A has a very small footprint. It's made to fit under the front seat of many different vehicles. And that is Pioneer's TS-WH500A compact self-amplified subwoofer. And what's in the box?
The HS-8 Hideaway has been massively successful for Kicker for many years, so we challenged our team of engineers to come up with the next big thing, or should I say little thing. What they came up with is called the Hideaway HS-10. The HS-10 improves over the HS-8 by adding more power, 180 watts versus 150, and a larger woofer, 10-inch versus 8-inch. And it's almost the same size as the HS-8. In fact, if you already have an HS-8, like I do my Mazda CX-5, you can actually unplug the harness from the 8 and install the 10, and you're done. Super, super simple. The improvements of the 10 versus the 8, obviously more cone area, more power, but in addition, we have increased the input voltage for the high-level input. If you've got a truly high-powered factory-installed audio system, but you still need more bass, the high-level inputs will accept up to 40 volts, which is the equivalent of 400 watts at 4 ohms. So almost any high-powered factory-installed audio system can go straight into the HS-10, and you'll have great bass response. In addition, we have what's called DC offset. That means the amplifier in the Hideaway will turn itself on and off with the car. So you don't have to go trying to find a switched ignition lead. This simplifies your install dramatically. So what if you've got an aftermarket radio with RCA outputs? Well, we've got a simple addition for that as well. The KISL simply takes your RCA output and converts it to speaker level output. So the HS-10 can be easily added to your aftermarket radio as well. Included with the HS-10 is a remote bass knob. So if you want to dial back the bass or bump it up, you can do that remotely from your dash. Very simple installation, great bass response. Take a factory system and make it incredible, or even upgrade an aftermarket system as well. So whatever you need, great bass, small package, HS-10 Hideaway. Now introducing the Hideaway. The Hideaway uses a 150 watt amplifier and an 8-inch subwoofer to give you actual deep bass in any small vehicle. You can put this guy beneath your seat, behind your seat, in your center console, anywhere it'll physically fit, and it'll give you awesome bass. If you need just a little bit more, we also have the Kick EQ on board. It gives you a 6 decibel bump at 40 Hertz. And if you don't know what that means, turn it on and you'll understand. It will accept high or low level inputs. So if you want to use your factory radio and your factory speakers, you can do that. Simply take that amplified output from your factory radio or even your rear speakers and plug it directly into the Hideaway. Or if you're using an aftermarket radio that has RCA outputs, you can do that too. Simply using the RCA input on the Hideaway will give you that connectivity. Some days you want a little more bass than others. Remote control. You can control the Hideaway subwoofer using this very simple remote. Simply mount this on your dashboard, beneath your dashboard, even in your cup holder, and you've got instant access to the subwoofer. And of course, as all Kicker products, it goes to 11.
The system includes everything you need to upgrade the non-premium factory sound system in the brand new Jeep JL. Also included in the kit is all the wiring required to do the installation. I know it looks like a lot, but it is all pre-wired with connectors on all the ends. Everything plugs into a T-harness that actually plugs in behind the radio. This will tie in with the factory wiring and give you outputs and inputs from the harness that will run down to the powered subwoofer and amplifier unit. Everything again is plug and play, so there's no splicing required. The power wire that runs out to the battery has the connectors on it already. You run them, which we will cover. You run down through the floor of the vehicle and then it will connect to the main harness, which will supply power. There's also adapters included if you're installing this system using an aftermarket radio versus the factory radio, which we'll cover during the installation, but those are included with the kit as well as a bass control knob. And this will allow you to control the output of the subwoofer while listening to music without having to adjust it at the actual amplifier. It also includes our Type R tweeters that will replace the factory tweeters up on the dash. They're pre-assembled in factory-specific JL brackets, along with the crossovers that are pre-wired with the Wrangler connectors on the end, so there's no splicing required. It's a drop-in plug-and-play install. And then we also include Alpine badges to put on the tweeter covers after the install is complete.